The time has come to talk about Argentina, the back-to-back champions of the Copa America. Congratulations. We are in Argentina currently, which means if we say anything too harsh, too critical, they might kick our asses out. I don't think we will, though, because I don't really think there's too many things to say negatively about this team, and I can't wait to get into that. You guys let us know how you felt about Argentina's Copa campaign down below in the comments, and of course, smash the like button for some outdoor poolside recording. Connor, why don't you take this one first? How do you feel about the campaign? Give me a grade overall.
Great overall, man. I think you have to say... You don't have to say anything. I think you can say an A, because they did exactly what they came here to do. It was not the most convincing.
I win A.
You win A?
I win A, yeah.
It's not an A+. It's not an A+. It just doesn't work like that, right? We were not the most convincing team. But I think that was the game plan. We didn't come here to dominate with 4-1 score lines and, just play incredibly, ball-possessive, high-flying, attacking football. We're not Spain. I would say the game plan is much closer to that of England or France, right? We want to come up. We want to be defensively sound, which we were. 1 goal conceded the entire tournament. I mean, we've done a complete 180 in regards to the Argentinas that we've known in the past, where we're all offense and we just skate by pure luck of the draw. Romo was saving us in penalty shootouts, or not Romo, Romero.
Venezuela.
No, perdón. But now we have Dibu. Now we have Cuti. Now we have a Lisandro Renaissance. Nothing short of that.
Yeah.
And we have Tagliafico playing out of his skin. And we have 2 excellent options in Montiel and Molina, who both had excellent games on their day, We were not the most convincing, but I think that was the game plan. And it didn't pay off against Ecuador, I said we looked comfortable there, and I think we were. But it does open the door to last-minute golazos like the one we saw there. And it was not the most convincing win. But we did show up on the day with a very similar game plan, and it played out exactly to expectations, along with some excellent substitutions on Scaloni's part there on the final day. And we did exactly what we came here to do. And credit and aplomb should be heaved on them, much like I said Canada is deserving of that, Very proud of the boys. And I'm once again in la tierra de los campeones, feeling very much at home. And as for kicking us out, they might kick you out. Yo soy argentino, pibe.
No, they need my money for the local economy. They ain't kicking me out. I also went A for the Copa America. The one thing that it would have been A+ if you didn't beat Ecuador on pens, if you just beat them outright, and if you had just one tougher opponent. I don't care who it is. It could have been the USA. I mean, just somebody just a little more testing, I think.
We needed a big market win is what we needed.
And you got it.
Yeah, we got it.
You got it in the final.
In the final, yeah, which, if you're going to have it anywhere, that's the place you want to have it. But
Correct.
But it would have been nice to see one right before that. That being said, I'm not complaining.
I mean, you ended a 28-game unbeaten streak in the final. So we can't act like... I think the biggest thing for y'all is that y'all didn't get a bunch of penalties. I still think there's things you can hate on with this Copa America, right? Because the detractors will say you had the easier side of the bracket, which you did. But at the same time, it's not like you had needed pens to beat Canada, or like some just horrible refereeing decisions to squeak by Peru. Like, the games were won, not always pretty, but comfortably. And this is the biggest thing with Argentina, bro. If you expect them to play like Spain, if you think they're going to play like the Netherlands, even Portugal at times, you just don't watch Argentina.
No, you don't. I think that expectation is set up for you by watching arguably the best World Cup final to ever happen against France.
You watched Croatia 3-0 and then the final and thought, oh, this is every game.
This is every game. This is every game. This is just what they do. No, that's not what we do. It's always ugly. Ser argentino es sufrir. It's to suffer.
Yeah.
That is like a key part of our culture. You see it in the milongas that we sing, the tangos that we dance, and even the drinks that we drink. Fernet is not a good drink. And I would say
it's an abomination.
It's an abomination, and so is mate, For the layman, you got to be strong to drink that, right? But I think that is exactly what it is to be Argentine. That's how we win, and that's the way we like it. The aftertaste, what it leaves you with, is beautiful, is something beautiful. And that is the Bicampeón de América 2 times in a row, and a World Cup, and a Finalísima.
Is this achievement being underrated, overrated, or neither by the general public?
My man, we can make a whole separate video.
Take the mic for this one. Take the mic. Give it to us 60 seconds.
We can make a whole separate video about this. I think that
Hit subscribe.
The Argentines are rating this exactly as it needs to be. You know, we are very content. We've been given everything that we needed, everything that we asked Santa Claus for. Messi came down the chimney in a big red fluffy hat and a bag full of trophies.
No, bro. You know who it was? It was Walter Samuel. Okay.
It was Walter Samuel, exactamente. No, he came down, and Otamendi was one of his little elves. Otamendi and Lisandro were back there like, Feliz Navidad, boludo.
You know when you're new on the job and you gotta shadow somebody? Literally, Walter Samuel grabbed Otamendi and was like, "Hey, bro, in 5 years this is gonna be you, bro. So come down this chimney with me, dog."
Who do you think is gonna be the future coach of the Argentine national team? Who would you pick from this selección that we have? Because it's not Messi for me.
No. Who would be a great coach? God, dude. You know what? Tagliafico.
You think Tagliafico?
I think he would cook as a man.
Ooh, I like that.
It can't be Acuna.
No.
I mean, he got no neck.
He got no neck. He ain't got the vision.
No,
you know.
No.
No. I'm okay with Tagliafico. I think a dark horse there might be maybe Lisandro.
I think Lisandro's a great shout. I think Dibu's a great shout.
Dibu is a great shout, but you don't see many goalkeeper with
Tagliafico, one, what a dog. What a performance in the final. Again, by the way, Montiel, same thing. Tagliafico's got just enough, like altura, just enough stature, enough clout to possibly get a head coaching job, but not enough to where if he fumbled a little bit in his first 10 games in charge, that people would be asking for his head. You know what I mean? He could still be an appointment that's somewhat under the radar. And, bro, anybody who tucks their shirt in, I think he's built to be the gaffer, quite frankly.
It's conservative. It's a conservative move.
Politically?
And I don't know his political leanings. I have no idea. All I know is that they're not going to the Casa Rosada.
What?
They're not.
Why not?
Because they didn't go for Kirchner. They didn't go for Macri. I think they're just keeping that same vibe for Milei.
Oh, so it's not a Milei thing. They just haven't been doing it, period.
They just haven't been doing it, period. They want to stay out of it because that would be a highly contentious political move now. It would be like declaring support, which I think they want to remove themselves from entirely. But anyway, moving on from politics.
I say with all the smoke they take in, just do it, baby.
Just do it, baby.
Hold up. I want to be on the top. I want the top of the bus, the party bus, to pull up to the Casa Rosada. Broad daylight, bro.
You know, we arrived on the exact same day that the selección showed up. That's why we were applauded at the airport. Not for our short shorts, actually.
Damn, I thought those were all Deadball TV subscribers.
I thought it was too. Yeah, no, y'all left us high and dry. What I will say in regards to your actual question that you asked me,
overrated or underrated?
Overrated or underrated? I would say that a lot of that is just being totally ignored. This tremendous achievement that they have, que lograron, that they have earned, has been completely overwritten by the scandalous sort of song that was sung on the bus in regards to the French national team, that everybody is pinning on Enzo right now, which I think is funny because he wasn't even participating. He was just happened to be on live on the bus. And we'll make a whole other.
He was participating, but so was 15 other people.
Well, he wasn't singing it.
Oh, was he not?
No, he wasn't singing it. No, the whole time he was just on live and just vaguely, probably a little bit drunk, just kind of vibing there and trying to turn it off.
To just pin it on Enzo.
Well, he is the one that they caught it on, so it's kind of weird. But
we'll talk about that on the Patreon.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the Patreon. But I think that is overriding any sort of results and takeaways here because it's a much quote unquote juicier story. That being said, the Argentines, it's job done here.
Yeah,
it's job done here. The city's not an absolute turmoil here after the World Cup or after the first Copa America. Nobody's the streets aren't on fire. People aren't out on the streets, singing and celebrating. It's very much like we've done it. It happened. We can relax now. We've gotten everything that we've wanted. It is calm here. There's a sense of satisfaction, much like eating a delicious but massive meal. Yeah. We have had the lion's share of everything that we could have possibly dreamt of. And my man, I feel an overwhelming sense of peace. And I think Buenos Aires, on the whole, is very much the same.
And I think you guys have earned that peace. I'm going to say that I think the achievement is being underrated because of the legacy that this now means, right? Like, I was talking about this a lot. I kept beating the drum, dude. I was a one-man banda, bro. And I kept saying, if Argentina win this, we now enter GOAT conversation. I didn't say y'all were the GOATs, but I said you enter the conversation. And you did that. And, like, you can only hate for so long. I'm going to say it again. Golden State Warriors, how many rings they got to win before you're just like, all right, these guys actually might be a top 3 team of all time? Eventually, you just got to take the hater hat off. And we love to wear that on Deadball TV, but even us, at a point, it's like, bravo, dude. You just got to take a bow. And I think, God, if they win the Finalissima, which, by the way, we're doing a prediction to that later. Hit subscribe. If they win the Finalissima again, what are we even doing here? If you don't have them top 5, you're just a straight hater. And I know people will say, like, oh, well, Jack, the Copa America path was so easy. Look what Spain had to do compared to Argentina. That's valid. But in 2021, you won in the Maracanã. Was that easy? No. Okay, so sometimes you get an easy draw. Sometimes you get a hard draw. You got to win either way, bro.
And we still had a game that went to penalties. Ecuador did not have a good Copa America. That game, Ecuador balled out.
Their best game of the Copa.
If Ecuador played like that the entire tournament,
they would have won the group. You wouldn't have played them until the semifinals.
And that's a different conversation because a semifinal, everybody gets up for a semifinal. You saw how they got up for Argentina. Imagine that in the semifinal context. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's a different conversation.
Correct. And I think that was Argentina's worst game as well. Like, that was a game where people were very concerned, and I feel like even it was a bit overblown, again, because I feel like people don't understand how Argentina plays. And I feel like I only understand to the depth because of you, because I've heard your dad talk about it. I've heard you talk about it.
26 years. 26 years of watching the same sort of style of play and just underachievement. It does not always work. It is not a pretty brand of football. Frankly, 2014 was the best I saw for a long time. And we had much better teams before. Maybe not much better teams, but we had much more promising teams before then.
Y'all really out here playing Atleti ball.
Yeah. And go figure. Their coach is Simeone.
Yeah, about to say, who the manager? Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I think after the Ecuador game, I think you guys responded very well. Everybody was saying the coaches were up until 4 in the morning. Argentina's allowed to have a bad game. What's important and what makes you guys dogs is that after the bad games, you guys respond. You guys respond. Like, that's the DNA of champions. It's not you have a bad game and you go, oh, God, we're going to get eliminated now. That's not – honestly, you guys are too big of assholes to even think like that. The ego on this team could – I don't know. It could fill a stadium.
It has filled stadiums. It does fill. It fills stadiums with people from other countries because it's
Correct.
That electric. We figured out how to harness it to our advantage.
I think DePaul single-handedly has more confidence than the entire Mexican national team. I'm not even kidding. Like, you look at this team, and this is why people hate y'all, I think, or one of the reasons, is that y'all are like, I am him, but you are him. You are him. You're He-Man. And people love to hate. And it's even worse when it's true.
It's even worse when it's true. And I think DePaul was quoted as saying that, I don't know if it was on a podcast just recently or if that broke today, but I believe an Argentine news, I think it was Ole, quoted him as saying, me encanta cerrar los blank. He was like, I love shutting the assholes up. He's like, it's my favorite thing. If I've got to be honest, that is my favorite thing. The hate drives him. It drives us, and we're accustomed to it. Like, I would say culturally, we're used to it, Like, I used to work at a Mexican restaurant, and a lot of the times I would, speak in Spanish to a lot of the Mexican families that came in, and they would tease me for my accent, and I would accept it and I'd say, yeah, acento arrogante. It is. It's the arrogant accent. It's the little holier than thou. And even talking to me, even interacting with other Argentines here, I would say it's pretty dismissive. Maybe not out of intention, but it's like, I am who I am. Yeah. We are who we are. Frankly, your opinion has no bearing on that. And I would say that's exactly how we conducted ourselves here. We're going to ignore all of the past results, both good and bad, and we're going to do our job on the day and beat objectively the best team at Copa America, Colombia. Correct. Because they were better than us. They had a better tournament than us. They were better than us. They're a better team cohesively than us, which I did not think I would say. But they were. And they did their job, and we did ours. And we're better in the end. Credit to Colombia.
Very quickly, who was y'all's best player this tournament?
Our best player this tournament?
You can go multiple. You got to go Lautaro top 3.
Lautaro top 3. I would say you got to put him second behind one of the defenders. And I don't know who I'd say. I think I got to go Cuti. Lisandro probably for most improved. He might have been the most impactful, but I would say overall, performance-wise, you got to say Cuti or maybe even Dibu at the end of the day. You have to, because Dibu showed up, and he did it again. He was the best player in his position again, with some staunch competition here, I would say.
Oh, it was some good goalkeeping performances.
Great goalkeeping performances. Even from teams that lost. Like, I think Alisson conceded only 2 goals, and, that was enough to have them eliminated. Too bad, so sad. It's a game of fine margins, unfortunately. 1 goal conceded from Argentina the entire tournament. I think you have to give it to the defenders. And Lautaro came in to finish the job off. Cherry on top of the cake, the metaphorical ice cream sundae. 2 games as a starter and 5 goals.
The metaphorical alfajor.
He is...
See the dulce de leche in between? No, that's De Paul. Because he's holding the galletas together. You know what I'm saying?
You could say that, but he wasn't that quality.
Him and Mac.
No. Now you've gone too far. I would say dulce de leche is got to be Dibu and Cuti and Lisandro. And Di Maria. Di Maria, that final from Di Maria. Didn't score, but unlucky too. The man was an absolute menace to the Colombians. Like, who would have thought? And he played 120 minutes.
That's the crazy
He played 120 minutes. You're telling me young gun Schaffelberg can't even get a full game? He's like praying to get a full 90, and Di Maria balls out for 120 and cries like he could have gone 120 more? I'm just saying, absolutely unreal. So I would say De Paul, Lisandro, and Cuti. No, not De Paul. Cuti, Lisandro, and Emi. Dulce de leche. I would say the galletas, Di Maria, and I don't even know, maybe Lo Celso. And then
not enough minutes.
Not enough minutes, but impactful for that last goal there, right?
True.
And then I would say Lautaro is the little coconut shavings all around. They roll them in there. It's like just a...
He's the membrillo on top of the whatever, the factura that I had yesterday, whatever. Yeah. I'm gonna
finishing touch.
Correct. I'm gonna say big best players. I'm gonna go Lautaro number 1. I mean, Golden Boot, bro. Who the hell saw that coming? The Inter fans didn't even see that coming because he hadn't done it for the La Sele. I'm gonna go him 1. Dude, I'm gonna go Cuti 2. I'm gonna go Emi 3. Tagliafico 4, and I think no player had a better stock increase than Tagliafico. And I say that because
Tagliafico or Lisandro? I think it's kind of interchangeable.
That's a great.
But no,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Because they had very similar trajectories here. Like, they both superseded a starter that was in front of them, capitalized on the opportunity that they were given, and now it looks like they're locked in. I think that Lisandro is a bit clearer of a shout over Otamendi now because Otamendi is aging, right? Yeah. So maybe I would give it to Tagliafico for most improved because he had to supersede on objectively, I mean, maybe not objectively, but there's an argument that he was unplayable during the World Cup. He just did his job offensively and defensively. We didn't see that here, and I mean, Tagliafico stepped up. He tucked his shirt in, and he was like, I'm going to get the job done. And he did. Credit to him. Also, if you want a hilarious Instagram, Tagliafico. Him and his girlfriend are incredible. There's this hilarious video. I don't know if it's a pug or a bulldog or something, but he pulls up his really fat dog, and he's like, ¿Estás listo para el asado? Like, we might as well slap you on the grill. And she's like, stop. No puedes decir eso. And he's like, he looks at the camera, and he's like, te voy a comer. They're freaking hilarious.
Yeah, shout out to Tagliafico. It's kind of hard to be an Argentine when you've won the Copa America, you've won the Finalissima, you won the World Cup, and it still be underrated. But I think that applies to Tagliafico because he also plays club football in France at the same time. And he split so many minutes with Acuna, too, that people just don't know him like that. You know, like, I don't think
Sandro has the Man United credit.
Correct. And I don't think, like, you know, I love the ball. I think it was an okay tournament from him. Not his best. I think Enzo was okay. Paredes was pretty good. Lo Celso, correct. Lo Celso, he and Lo Celso in their limited minutes did pretty well. Di Maria, I mean, the fact that he outplayed Luis Diaz to that degree in the final.
Luis Diaz can't even get a full, he can't even go the full stretch. And he did not produce a fraction of the chances that Di Maria did.
He did nothing in the final, and we'll get to Colombia in another video. I think that's more on Lorenzo, who I'm disappointed in how he managed that game. I want to wrap up here soon, but we should talk about Messi. Are you encouraged or discouraged at how the future looks for the Argentine national team post Lionel Messi, based on what you saw both with him and without him on the pitch during this Copa America?
I feel like the chances and the energy and the pace improved when he was taken off, in the final specifically. Now, this may be a completely different conversation if he wasn't injured, right? Because on his day, he's electric. And even now, if you ask like the layperson, like my buddy Ben was watching, and he's very, fairly new to the footballing sphere. But he said, shout out Ben, he said that when they took Messi off, he felt that they looked a little shakier. But dude, personally, I like the energy. I like the energy that came out. It looked, and I think they're quoted as saying even, I don't know if it was Paredes or DePaul. It was DePaul. Yeah. He said that when Messi went off and they looked at the videos, right, in the stadium and saw him crying, they said, we got to win this for him, right? So what happens when he's off the team completely? I don't know. But regardless, we have a good record without him. There looks to be a bright future ahead without Messi. And personally, I liked the energy, the pace of play. I mean, Nico Gonzalez, he's got a metal boot for a foot because he couldn't finish those chances, right? Yeah. And he said that the team was clowning him for all of that on the bus. But the point is the chances were generated, and it might be as little as a tactical switch required to get this man firing. And the fact that we have options like that there is potential for that after Messi is something that, frankly, I would never have dreamed of looking at 2014 Argentina, because that team does not go without Messi. It doesn't. There were good players that played there, but it does not run without Messi. And now it looks like we have a future. You want to know how old Lautaro is?
26.
He's 26. He's 26. This is a young team. We've got lots of young studs in really good positions. Frankly, I'm very optimistic in a future without Messi and Di Maria, which feels treacherous and traitorous to say. But I think, were I to have my decision, I would be totally content with Messi stepping away at this point and saying, you guys have it. It's being left in good hands. I don't think he will, but
maybe after World Cup.
I don't want him to play in the World Cup. But maybe that's for a Patreon or a different video. I'm not ready for him in the World Cup.
I think this Argentina team is extremely good. And I think without Messi, you guys will be fine. What I think the biggest difference will be is you will no longer have that world-class get-out-of-jail-free card. And that's not just because Messi's stepping away. That's because Fideo's done as well. We've seen the most clutch moments possible from a footballer from that man, and that's because he's world-class. So he's done too. Everybody says Messi's gone, Messi's gone, Messi's gone. And to be fair, that's what I asked you. But Di Maria stepping away those are big shoes to fill as well. Especially, I mean, you got Garnacho and Nico Gonzalez. They're good players, but they don't have that world-class, like, okay, it's 0-0, 80th minute against Brazil. What do we do? You know, our midfield is canceling out theirs. Their backline's hella athletic. They got Alisson in goal. He's a freak. What do we do? Oh, Messi's just going to dink one from 20 yards out.
Which he almost did. He almost did with an injury and what looks to be a broken tendon in his ankle.
It looks really bad.
It looks awful.
It looked like the fattest plum you could find at the grocery store.
Correct. This poor man.
I wonder if it stopped him in the celebrations at all.
Absolutely not. They slapped a boot on that. I mean, Emmy was probably carrying him.
Correct.
100%.
You know, like the thing when like the king sits on the throne and like he's got the 4 people holding it.
Oh, what is that called? It's called the royal. I think it's the litter.
Is it called a litter?
Nah, they do it in Game of Thrones all the time.
Yeah.
I can't remember it. It'll come to me. I hate this word because I always forget it, but it's the royal.
Comment down below. The point is, I think you guys are fine. You're just gonna have I think you're gonna have more draws, honestly, like in some fixtures in the future, because you're not gonna have the best player of all time and one of the most underrated players of all time bail you out. And bail you out sounds harsh, but just like, you know, it's just like having Steph. He's just gonna hit a 35-yard three-point shot, and you're like, how did he do that?
35 yard?
35 feet. 35. I mean, it might be 35 yard. I mean, he's done those, but 35 feet. Yeah, and we're just like, we can't guard this man.
No.
It doesn't matter what the defensive scheme is. We're playing a zone. We're switching to man. We're picking up 94 feet. It doesn't matter. And I feel like with marking Messi, how many players have come out and they're just like, we couldn't do anything.
We couldn't do it. Yeah.
Even in games where it's like they beat Argentina, it's like, so what'd you do to slow down Messi? And they're like, prayed.
Yes. I mean, these are all real players, and I mean, I think you can take player opinion with a grain of salt in a lot of contexts, specifically when you're giving awards, right?
Oh, that Ballon d'Or vid's coming. Holy hell, and I got some things to say.
Yeah, we got some things to say. We got some opinions. But when it comes to real life experience, I mean, just watch the highlights, watch the players' faces. I mean, you can look at, and you know, they trade videos like this all the time, but look at Ronaldo's face. Whenever Messi like does a job, you go back and watch some of the videos of the Clásicos, and I mean, they like trade videos where they're just staring at each other in disbelief because they're at that caliber, but they can't fathom what's happening. They can't like witnessing it is almost unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think we're seeing that from Portugal as well. You know, Ronaldo, he can't save you anymore, dude.
No.
Those days are over. Not that he ever really did too much of that in major tournaments, but we dare not speak on that now. Last question in the video. I want to ask you this. Favorite moment of the Copa America?
Damn. Damn. Favorite moment of the Copa America?
For Argentina, of course.
Yeah.
I know you were about to say Balogun's goal against Panama, but I just want to save you from.
Honestly, that was up there.
That was a banger.
That was a banger. Favorite moment was probably, dude, it had to be Di Maria's run that gets like stuffed by Romo barely, but it was almost the same thing, just a beautiful interchange, and then Di Maria cuts in from the left after switching sides like twice, right? And then he like just goes, was it Romo's leg? They caught it, they caused it to bounce.
Vargas, the goalkeeper?
Oh, Vargas. Gracias. Wow, qué vergüenza. Vargas, when he like just barely taps it out, I think that probably gets second, and it just goes straight back to Dibu dancing.
Yeah, Dibu dancing's fine.
Dibu dancing. It's great every time. I mean, FIFA's trying to shut down an iconic moment in football, an iconic personage in football, and y'all losing money. That's all I'll say. I know y'all love that stuff, so I don't know what you're doing, but you losing money here because that's a FIFA emote right there.
Correct. Yeah, y'all are complaining that, oh my God, like all these footballers, they're all robots, they don't have feelings, all this stuff. Then Dibu comes out of nowhere, tries to have a personality, and they're like, look at the disrespect. Look how he treats his opposition. This is disgraceful. Classic Argentine behavior. Like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? What do you want?
You want a brand? You want a brand? You want personality? Or do you want everything to go by your rules? Because I'll tell you what, we'll give you the brand, we'll give you the personality, we'll give you intrigue, we'll give you storylines, we'll give you clicks, we'll give you clout, we'll give you new viewers, or we can do everything your way.
Do you want the game sanitized or not? Because if you don't, you're going to have a couple personalities out there that you don't like.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. I promise the cake is just as good if it's got a little bit of nuts on top of it.
Correct. Dude, I agree with that. I think Debu, keep dancing, bro. Keep doing your thing. That's going to be our Argentina Copa America recap. You guys let us know what you think down below in the comments. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And join us for the rest of our Copa America videos.